about the Messi thing.
Anything else on the Messi front, Chris, before we move on?
No, I'm done. I'm
falling out. I told you, I never want to bring this guy's name up again.
I don't know, man. This Messi thing is just a freaking mess. What a disaster.
I don't want to hear this name ever again until it's official. But they got me back.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 185 of the Batter Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Granada, and alongside me, as always, Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
I got something fresh back there now. I got something fresh back there.
Is that what you had last episode?
No, it's not. For those of you that are observant. For those of you that are observant.
You should have let them realize it on their own.
I gotta show them. I gotta show them because they say I don't got wall art. So like, here I am.
Is this what we're gonna do? You're gonna just have one piece in the back and just change it every episode?
I don't know.
That's an interesting way to go. I like it.
We'll see how it how it all crumbles.
I like it. All right. Yeah. So we were on here on Saturday post game.
Nice pickup, Pablo. Yes, it is the yard flag.
Had a not the best performance, but pulled out the win anyway. So you can't really complain about a win. And then then we have.
I did a lot of that.
Yeah, you did. Actually, we should get to that. Well, we don't have time, I think. And then we have Orlando, right? A rivalry game, I guess, is quote unquote rivalry game on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we have Alex from Lions Den here to preview it. But before we do, I figured we do a little housekeeping. Before we start talking Orlando City, Chris, right before we started recording, I told you about an open training that we're going to be having. If you're a season ticket holder, you should have received an email at some point today letting you know that season ticket holders are going to get the opportunity to go watch an open training next Tuesday, I believe it is. It is at 7 o'clock, I want to say. And
yeah, Tuesday, May 21st. Yeah, I just looked it up. It's Tuesday, May 21st.
Yep.
You have a unique opportunity to watch Inter Miami train, and it will be 1 hour long. You get to see behind the scenes, like if the YouTube videos don't, give you that. Apparently, the schedule works out. Parking lot opens at 5. Gates open at 6. 6 o'clock, Merch Madness. Whatever that is.
That's what they did. They did that like 2 years ago also. Or was it last year? They did it last year.
I was mentioning to you, they did it at some point. I don't remember if it was the beginning of 2022 or 2023, where they kind of had like an open training for all the season ticket members. I think it was all season ticket members. And you just kind of sit wherever you want in the stands and you get to watch them practice.
No, you know what? That Merch Madness, I think, was the same event where they let everybody get autographs.
The yard sale?
Yeah.
That was the yard sale.
Yeah, because I remember we were clowning on Trav because we said that he was going to go buy a jock strap. Jock straps, yeah. Because
he got some good stuff, though. A lot of people got some good stuff. You were hating, but people got good stuff.
What's good? Because it's game used, because it has their sweat on it. The hell do I want somebody's sweaty jersey for?
But they ended up getting like jerseys and kits that
all used though. Like that's why.
I mean, it's all used. I mean, throw it in the washer, or you want to put it, encapsulate the dirtiness in a frame. I mean, you also got nameplates. So someone out there has Edison Ascona's nameplate somewhere
from his locker or something like that, right?
Yeah, from his locker. Yeah, dude, that's big stuff. That's good. I could have hung it right there. I could have put it right there next to the sign, next to the Inter Miami flag.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not into that kind of stuff, I guess. But yes, I know some people are hyped about being able to get some game worn stuff. So that's gonna be going on, and then you get to watch them kick the ball around. So my question to you: are you gonna be going?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm going to go on a Tuesday? It's already hard enough to go on a Wednesday to Broward.
Yeah, the traffic up north is pretty brutal.
So what am I going to do? I'm going to go and sit there and watch them practice? Like
Yeah.
what? Are they going to be doing like cone drills? They're not even going to be playing like a game.
I don't know.
I mean, what is it? Messi? Is Messi going to be there? How long do you think he's going to practice? What's the over under on that?
He'll practice the whole time.
No way. There's no way.
But he'll be off to the side. Yes, 100%.
So he'll be on his lonesome. He's not even a part of it. He's just his own individual entity.
Yes, isn't that how it is? Like every practice. And Soccer Daddy is asking no guest tonight. Yes, we do have an Orlando City guest. We just wanted to touch up on the season ticket holder event before we got into the Orlando talk. But yeah,
Are you going?
Absolutely not. No, we live too far. If it was in Miami, I would consider it. But I can't imagine. Like I would assume that the majority of season ticket holders that are gonna go to that are people that live in Broward. I can't imagine if you're a season ticket holder and you live in Miami that you're gonna make that drive literally just to watch them practice.
I wouldn't. There's no way.
I don't think that a lot of people would. I don't know how many season ticket holders we have right now in the chat. The chat's still filling up, so we don't have a lot of people in here yet. But if there's any season ticket holders, I'm kind of curious if they're planning on going. Because again, if you live down south, I can't imagine you're gonna make that drive up literally just to watch them practice.
If you don't live further north of, I'd say like Hialeah, it's not worth it.
No, I can't.
It's not worth it. Either. It's not worth it. No way. To watch people practice, get out of here. You live in Kendall? Go to Kendall on 127. Just watch people play soccer out there. It's the same crap.
I mean, I don't know if you can compare it to watching Messi, but
I mean, it's not, obviously, right? Guys, don't kill me because I'm mentioning a local soccer field.
But look, Mitch has a great point. You love to just stand there and wave at the players, so.
But I'm already there. I'm not going to go out of my way to wave at the player. I'm already there. Why would I drive 50 minutes to Broward County to go wave at people? Stancy is saying, give me your ticket. I live in Broward. Stancy, if I have an opportunity to get it, I will forward it to you. I promise.
All right. And I think that's about it, right? There's a lot of rumors about Sergio Ramos possibly going to San Diego.
Oh, that's
so my dreams of him coming to Inter Miami are slowly dying. And I think that's about it. Anything else that has picked up over the last 2 days? No, I think that's about it, right?
That's it. I mean, Mr. Krabs is saying you drive to Broward to watch a soccer game. Yeah, to watch like a game, 100%. A competitive game, not to watch cone drills.
Yeah, no, I don't think I could go for practice. And again, I don't think a lot of people would either.
Yeah, no way.
All right. So, without further ado, since I don't think there's much else to touch on that has happened over the last 2 days, we are going to bring our guy Alex from Lions Den to help preview this week's game. Last time we spoke to him, I was asking him, hey, do you think that Orlando fans are going to complain about the refs? And he said, probably not. I said, only way that they don't complain about the refs is if they win 5-0. And they literally won 5-0 and nobody complained.
I was just waiting for you to bring that up. I knew this was going to be one of the first things you guys brought up. That was brutal. In the clips you got out of that, fair play. It was an unbelievable prediction. I've had one or two of those on our time at Orlando Lions Den, and they're fun. But man, did that last match, that's the one that took a lot of air out of our sails. And I think we're not to be dramatic or anything, but I think we just recovered from it.
Oh yeah, I know. You just beat Philadelphia, and we're gonna get into that also. Go ahead,
oh
Chris.
yeah.
Yeah, and before we get into that game, I don't know if we ever asked you, Alex, about the whole Inter Miami and Inter and
Yes, we did. He said it's not a big deal.
Yeah, he said it's not a big deal, but like I guess it's kind of died down since, right? Like nobody really cares.
No. I haven't heard boo about it since. I've only been to one match so far, and at the stadium this year with all the commutes that I have to do to go to matches, but I haven't heard anybody bring that up since. I don't think it's as big a deal as anyone made it play out to be. It's not a great sponsor, but it is what it is. It's not a jinx. It's not a...
Yeah, look, it's business at the end of the day. And, you know, when it comes down to it, like in the first week of the announcement, everybody had their kicks and their giggles. But, I mean, after a week or two, I'm pretty sure it's sort of subsided. So, like, at this point, it's like, who cares, you know?
Yeah. You guys are talking about training. It's so funny to hear this. All I'm thinking about when you guys are talking about this Tuesday training, all I can think about is that episode of Ted Lasso where he just keeps inviting more and more fans to training. They're not selling merch, but apparently they're selling merch, and I'm sure there's someone that wants Messi or Luis Suarez's sweaty kit.
Well, I have a feeling that season
those
ticket
for
holders
sure.
might start selling those because people to see Messi will do a lot of crazy things. So I have a feeling that that's what's going to end up happening. They'll somehow start selling those tickets and watch them just kick the ball around, I guess. So we beat you guys 5-0. Going into that game, we thought it would be a hard-fought game just because, everybody. We had Tom Bogarts on here in January, and he predicted Orlando to be the Supporter Shield winner. Like, everybody was high on Orlando, and beat you 5-0. And I thought it was a one-off that Orlando would get things together, but it felt like after that, it was just like an avalanche. So if you could just tell us what exactly happened to Orlando this year, that I know up until this past weekend, that things just just took a turn for the worse.
There's a lot to go into that. The team wasn't necessarily set up to be like this. You guys are talking about having Tom on. Tom came on with us as well, and we talked about extensively the Duncan McGuire saga. And this team was not set up to have Duncan McGuire around. He was supposed to be playing for Blackburn, and he stayed around. And so there was this confusion. Do we start him? Do we start Luis Muriel? And either way, it hasn't worked out. Neither one has, up until this week, produced. Like, Duncan has been our guy, but there was always debates about who do we start. And we thought that Luis was going to be our guy, and it didn't happen. Defensively, we've had some issues. There's been some injuries. And honestly, it's just not the same team as last year. There was less cohesion. There's been debates about, is it a coaching error? It's all around. It is completely different from last season. And I was talking on our Den After Dark on Twitter Spaces or X or whatever you want to call it, after the Philadelphia match. We're right back where we were last season. Last season, a week ago or 1 year ago, last Friday, we got eliminated by Charlotte from the Open Cup. And that's when everybody wanted Oscar Pereira out. We were out of form, not playing well. And that's when we turned the season around, despite the fans wanting him out. And I want to be optimistic that this is the case, but I don't have any proof of that, because even this Philly match seemed like a fluke, considering we lost to Toronto in abysmal fashion. And then the whole Cincy match and getting red carded and all that was not great.
Well, Mr. Krabs is mentioning down here in the comments, didn't you guys want Oscar Pereira fired last year?
Yeah.
What about now?
That was exactly when.
It seems like you guys still are kind of like on the hotter end in terms of wanting him out, no?
Yes, the fan base is definitely heating up in wanting a change, and I'm not there yet. I was one of the people that right after the Charlotte match, I wanted Oscar out, but then he changed.
Yeah.
And that was something that I noted after this Philly match. He did make a change. Most of it was mandatory because we didn't have enough defenders to even play.
Yeah.
But they did it.
That's absolutely awful, Danny. What do you got stored there in your stat machine?
Well, Orlando City, it looks like their defense has been porous so far this season. They've given up the same amount of goals that we have. We've both given up 20 goals. But the difference is we've played 2 more games than they have. So they are giving up a lot more goals than we are per game, because we've given up the same amount of goals, but they've played 2 less goals. So what's going on with your defense? Why is everybody just kicking your ass as far as offensively?
There's been a lot of rotation due to injuries. I think there's some cohesive issues. Bracalo, who was our new center back, came in. He's played fine, but between him and Janssen, it's been a little iffy. The big
Johnson
drop
is
off,
solid.
yeah, he's
A
our
rock.
captain.
Right, he's the rock back there.
He's knowledgeable. He knows the game, but he's getting older, and he actually just went out on injury in the Philly match. So there's no way you guys are going to see him. We're going to be lucky to have him back this season. There's no report on exactly what, but he was taken off on a stretcher during the Philly match, and I'm hoping we see him this season, but he's not a young man anymore, and this could be it. He had a big ankle injury a couple years, might have been knee injury a couple years ago, and we didn't see him for 3 or 4 months. So we'll see. The big one, though, is the drop in form from Pedro Gallese. He's one of the highest paid goalkeepers in the league, and the amount of goals he has just leaked through. And we're not talking like goals that no one is going to save. We're talking easy goals that he should have saved, that a year and a half ago, Pedro would have saved.
I just want to mention to just jump on that comment. We have a listener here. His name is Bruno.
Tank.
Okay, Tank. He is a huge Gallese lover. Could be because he's also Peruvian, but that's
100%,
besides
that's why.
the point.
Mhm.
But Tank, Alex is telling you. I mean, he watches this team in and out.
He's dropped in form.
Yeah.
I mean, but
Yeah,
he is old. He is on the older side, though.
Yeah, Jason L is right. He is getting old. And there was some debate whether he's going to get started by Peru in the summer. There was a window for friendlies earlier in the year where they didn't start him at all. And I don't know if that was because they wanted to start another guy to test him out or what, but it's definitely been a drop in form.
All right, Chris, you go ahead while I drop the Discord link. Somebody's asking for the Discord link. I'm gonna add it right now.
And Rome is just asking, sorry I'm late. Did you already tell Alex that Orlando sucks? We kind of did.
So many words.
In a couple
In
of
so many
words.
words.
So there's your answer, Rome. But one thing I wanted to mention is like looking at your team, and this has sort of been my idea since the beginning of the season. Like on paper, you guys are like rock solid. Like you guys have so many people that like any normal MLS fan, other than looking at, I guess, Inter Miami because of the bigger names or LAFC, they'd look at Orlando City and say, holy crap, that's a hell of a team. So it must be pretty frustrating to be able to see the kind of roster that you guys have sort of arrived to and not see it really come to such a positive fruition then.
Yeah. How many pundits said that we were going to be the top of the league this year? Yeah.
Oh my God.
How many said it? I said it on our prediction show, and
yeah,
seeing what has happened so far this season is tearing me apart.
Absolutely.
It's not been a good season for us so far. Someone told me earlier that our first 8 matches, it was either 8 or 9, it was our worst start to the season ever. And that's not good. And going into rivalry week and playing a team, are you guys top of the league or are you top 2 right
Top of the league.
Going against a top of the league club is not great. Like I didn't plan on wearing purple on this podcast until we won on Saturday. I was going to come in black hoodie, black Orlando hat, in mourning, sackcloth and ashes, being like, we suck. This is a lost season. But they gave me that stupid disease that they've given me a couple times in the past, and it's called hope.
The hope? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's the hope that kills you.
Well, and speaking of
that's
hope,
why we're all battered here.
Yes. And now, speaking of hope, essentially the game against Philadelphia, which, I mean, Philly is another pretty good team, one of the top tier teams, I would say, in the East.
But they've also underperformed this year.
yes, they also have underperformed, but they were able to edge out a game against a match against Philadelphia Union, which, by the way, watching that, it's like pins and needles. Like it was close. In no way, shape, or form was that game a gimme.
Was that the first Muriel brace this year?
That was his first 2 goals in.
Oh,
Orlando.
really? Wow, really?
We've been waiting for that all season.
He hadn't
Got
scored
number
before that?
9 on
No.
his jersey.
Oh,
That was his
wow.
first 2 goals all season, and that's what gave me hope. Is that I said when he scored in the first half, the floodgates have opened, and he scores right off the kickoff in the second half. I'm like, okay, and yet he still didn't get the hat trick. Orlando City has not had a hat trick since 2015.
I was about to say Deacon, but I guess he didn't have one either then.
Kyle Laren against NYCFC
Ooh,
in
Mr. Canada himself.
That's
Kyle
a long
Laren.
time, Danny.
He,
That's a long
to
time.
Tony AX, he has had a couple of assists. I don't know if any of those were in MLS play, but he had a couple of assists in the Champions Cup.
I mean, even Campana had a hat trick last year, Danny. Like to
Did
go
he?
9 years. Yeah, I remember he had the header, the left foot, the right foot. That's why he had like a very special
Atlanta, right?
FIFA card. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's, I mean, 9 years,
Was that
man.
Orlando?
And like, look, to give props to Orlando, like Orlando hasn't exactly had shit teams. Like they've had some pretty reputable teams over the years. So
Well, if you want to
it's
get
tough
into the history of Orlando versus Miami, like a true rivalry, because when one team kicks the other one's butt repeatedly, it's not really a rivalry. We have played up until this point in all competitions. We've played each other 14 times. Orlando has won 6, we've won 5, and we've drawn 3. So pretty close there. But in the last 5, we've won 3, we've drawn 1, and Orlando has won 1. So recently, Inter Miami has had the upper hand, but overall, it's pretty close.
Did
so-
anything happen to your club recently? Did anybody come into the club? Did anything
Yes.
happen?
they got
Yes,
rid
we
of
got-
Emerson.
No, we got Matias Rojas. Oh, you were talking about in general? Because I was about to talk like literally.
It was
we got-
sarcasm.
yeah, I know. I
He's
got
being
it.
sarcastic.
I know. I caught it
Come on,
now.
come on,
but
Danny,
regardless,
pick it up.
But regardless, I'm going to throw out Matias Rojas on there because he's going to be a machine that maybe you guys haven't heard too much about, and he should be. He started last week, so I have a feeling that he's going to be doing very well.
Yeah, there's a guy we got from Argentina. You know, his name just has to be Facundo Farias.
And real quick, can I address this a second, Mitch? Danny, when do the Visca Miami shirts drop? I've been checking. They're supposed to drop on Thursday. Okay. So Mitch, we should have them drop on Thursday. Now, I will tell you that in the
Shut down
comment
the
section,
website.
because I said I would drop a Visca Miami and a Hala Miami, because like Ala Madrid, and I had somebody very offended that I would ever suggest that I would
Do you
put a la Miami shirt because it
Do you
was
have the comment?
offensive. No, I
Do you have
didn't
the
put it up. I forgot. Because it was very offensive that I would ever consider putting that up and disrespecting Messi and the Barcelona boys. Because
you
apparently
dare.
you are not allowed to like Real Madrid and also root for Inter Miami.
Let me speak to
So-
your manager.
I was told to not do it because it is not funny. And he reiterated that is not funny. So there you go.
Be better.
Look, AZ Rebellion, we don't care. I don't care. I didn't say I wasn't going to do it. I just thought it was a stupid comment for this person to say. So
I think
yeah.
I think people that get and understand our show will be okay with getting it. El Hibaro is saying he won't get it. I mean, he'll never wear it, so maybe he'll buy it. So Pablo is mentioning blasphemy as he stares into the sun like a baby
Why?
Jesus.
Inter Miami has nothing to do with anything that has to do with Spain. It's its own team. It's its own league. Now, if you want to bring the crap that happened over here, that's on you. So go ahead.
Get over it.
Yeah. All right, Alex. Sorry to kind of go off on a beaten path, but that's something that I forgot that I wanted to bring up because somebody was being interesting in the comment section last
Gotta
episode.
sell the merch. Gotta sell the merch.
Yeah.
All right. So we have this game. Is there anybody? I know you told us about Jensen. Anybody else that we might not see that might affect the way the game's played out?
Ramiro Enrique is still out on an injury that the club still won't disclose. Schlegel's coming back from suspension. Other than that, I think we're good. Santos, I think, might still be out because of he had a separated shoulder in our match against Cincy a week and a half ago. So he's questionable. I would love to see him back, but I don't think they're going to rush him back, considering we also have to travel to San Jose on the weekend.
Ooh, that's gonna be trouble.
Is there any talk? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I guess I'll go to here because as far as the formation and the tactics, has anything changed since last game or last year?
Since last game, the tactics haven't changed that much. Although the tactics we used last week was a 3-5-2, which was a lot different than what we played against you guys last time, which was a 4-2-3. I think it was a 4-2-3-1. But I don't know what we're going to do because we're playing with a couple of players hurt. And I'm nervous whether Oscar is going to take this victory against Philly as going all out on offense is a good thing, or if he just knows, I was making this up as I went with the players I had available. We only had 2 natural defenders on the pitch for that Philly match. Only our 2 center backs were on the pitch. Both of our wing backs were not out there. They were playing. It was kind of a weird pivot where one of our defensive midfielders, Wilder Cartagena, was kind of pivoting back, and Facundo Torres was also playing a little bit farther back on defense, but everything else was all out attack. We had all of our attacking players out there.
I love Alejandro's comment. Alex's lights are going out like Orlando's hopes.
Well, that's
Your
just look
going in and out.
Well, listen. Alex says that he was gonna sit in the darkness before they won. So this is just a little bit of a mix of both, right? He's got his Orlando Drobe on, but he's also in the darkness. So
got you.
Now
everybody's
everybody's mentioning something about Ramos getting signed before Orlando. Is that even possible?
I don't think they're talking about Sergio Ramos.
They're not? Okay. Well, maybe
so.
I'm just wrong, I guess. Well, I mean, other than that, right? Because you said that the lineup is a little bit different, or at least the way that the strategy was. You guys played a 3-5-2. You only had 2 true defenders there?
Yep.
Goodness.
And one of them got hurt.
Well, I mean, the worst part is you mentioned to go strong offensively. I think that's going to work well in your favor because our defense has been kind of Swiss cheese. Go ahead, Danny.
No, I was going to ask. Every team is pressing us high, pressing us often, because that's the way to beat into Miami. Do you think Orlando would go into that kind of strategy and just pressing high and often? Because if you're going to score against us, that's the way to do it. Forcing us into turnovers because our defense just can't beat the press very well.
It wouldn't shock me if he does something similar, if Oscar does something similar, but it'll be interesting what the lineup is, especially because Janssen is likely to be out for a while. It's going to be Schlegel and Bracalo in the back. That is without a doubt what the lineup is going to be back there. Who he surrounds himself with after that, I'm not sure. Might put Kyle Smith back there and do more of like a 3-4-3 kind of thing and have one winger that pulls up. Moving my mic, pulls up. I don't know. It's no one in Orlando truly knows what the lineup is going to be on Wednesday because of the injuries. And I don't think you guys know this. We played 105 minutes against Philly. We had 108
150.
minutes.
It was like 107, 108. Yeah.
Because there was so much stoppage time and so many different things that happened. We played a lot of match. So we're coming in with not fresh legs. It just is what it is. And then he's going to cycle it for San Jose. In my mind, it's more to put everything you have out there against your in-state rival. You got to go for the derby play. You got to go and get that result. I don't think he's gonna go all out against San Jose, especially with the amount of travel that's involved.
Has Nicholas Lodeiro been your best player this year?
I wouldn't say he's been our best. I think he started out slow, but he has grown into the team, and I would not be surprised because Janssen was our captain. I wouldn't be surprised if he is wearing the armband for us this week. I think he's been a top 3 player. Duncan McGuire has been our best player. I would say that.
So who are the top 3? So you got Duncan McGuire, Lodeiro, and who would be the other one?
Martin Ojeda. Martin Ojeda has been a lot of results, a lot of good assists, and good play. And he doesn't get the minutes is the thing. Like there's kind of a joke going around in the Orlando City fan community that Oscar doesn't like him or he doesn't play well in practice because he always pulls him pretty early on or he doesn't start him.
All right. So into Miami, going into Orlando, if you had to tell Tata, this is how you beat Orlando, what's the way to beat Orlando this season? I mean, obviously they did a pretty good job the first time around, but things may have changed a little bit. If you were going to go ahead and give Tata some advice, this is what you do. This is how you beat Orlando City.
Last time, if my memory serves me correctly, you guys played right back and from the back and played the counter, and that worked wonders for you guys. Do the same thing again.
And we didn't even have it. And we had Yedlin, if I'm not mistaken, when we played Orlando.
Yes,
that was Yedlin's last game.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got traded like the next day.
Yeah, 2 days later. Yeah.
A lot has changed, right? I don't even think we had. I mean, we're not going to have Redondo in this game either.
But we didn't have Redondo yet.
We didn't have Redondo there.
That was the last clean sheet we had.
Yes. Now, the thing is with this team, it's just crazy because the circumstances with the long travel before and after this game, midweek game, people exhausted. I mean, it's unfortunately, this might be a pretty brutal game, Danny, in terms of like what the expectation is of I mean, even though it's an in-state rival, Danny and Alex, I think that this is going to be a blowout, not just because of biasness and Inter Miami.
You think it's going to be a blowout? Okay.
I think that it's going to be a pretty large gap, not because of the in-state rivalry or Inter Miami against Orlando. I'm just looking at a team that has literally had the scratch and claw against Philly, has a midweek game, and then flies out to San Jose at the end of the week with players that are legitimately like depleted. I mean, am I wrong by saying that, Danny?
I don't know if you're wrong. Orlando has a clean sheet against Montreal and a clean sheet against Austin. Everybody else has scored just about 2 goals on them. They kept Cincinnati to 1 and the Red Bulls to 1. But you can score on this team. And with our offense, the way it's clicking right now, I would assume that Miami puts up goals. But I don't know if I'm going to say blowout either. So, I mean, I guess if we have nothing else to kind of break down about the game, well, before we go into predictions, real quick, let me ask Chris. Chris, do we see the same starting 11 that we did last game? Do we see Rojas in for Rojas and Kremaki in for Taylor and Ruiz?
I think, and I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to bring up the starting lineup just so we could see, especially now that Alex is completely okay. Now you're not in the darkness anymore, but I'll go ahead and cover you anyway. So this was the starting lineup. For those of you on audio, we're bringing up the starting lineup from last game. So what are you saying? You're saying that Ruiz might get the start?
No, I'm asking you. This was the last game, and we were surprised that Kremaki and Rojas started over Ruiz and Taylor. I didn't like the midfield that way because I felt like it was too offensive minded and it kind of left Busquets out on an island.
Yeah.
I think that Ruiz should keep starting until Gomez and Redondo are back. So do you think that Rojas starts? And if he starts, is it going to be over Taylor?
I think Rojas is going to start over Taylor, and I think instead of Kremaki, maybe Ruiz gets to start.
Okay.
That's what I think is going to happen. Just so you can alleviate it a little bit for Busquets. Because, I mean, listen, you went through it last episode or a couple episodes ago. Busquets has been putting up the most minutes on this team.
Mm-hmm.
You couple that with the fact that now you're going to put two people that are next to him that are not as defensive minded.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to make out for a good day.
It looked almost like we were playing with three in the back because Busquets was basically playing center back last game because he had to stay back there because Kremaki and Rojas were pushing up so high. All right. So I guess it's prediction time. So I will start with our guest of honor, Mr. Alex. How do you see this going on Wednesday in Interco Stadium?
Well, before we do that, I saw Alejandro gave you a nice little donation on YouTube. I can't change the mic, but as you said, I was having issues with my lights. I was trying to change the color. So I'll do purple at least.
Nice.
At least for one light bulb, but I can do.
Look at that. You could change colors in your background and all this stuff. These guys love the back of your wall. I can't even
Chris,
muster up more than
Alex is putting you to shame.
Yeah, no, Alex, you're making me look like complete garbage here. Like
if only the result on the field was the same. You're talking predictions. This is you gentlemen. We have had a great relationship over the past year and a half. This is the fourth time you have graciously invited me on your program. And every time I have predicted a Orlando City win. And of course, every single time that has not happened.
I see what's about to happen. That has not
happened. So
I see what's about to happen here. The reverse jinx is coming.
Exactly. This guy gets me. I was originally going to say 3-1 before Saturday. I'm going to say it's going to be a little closer than last time. I'm going to say 3-2. Miami turns the state pink, and I need to go get a bar of soap just from saying that.
Well, Chris's shirt says it also.
Yeah, right here. Right. Rosa y
Negro.
Now, I mean, just to aprende, Chris, Stancy's telling me to learn. Listen, Stancy, it's the best I'm doing for now. It's the best you're getting out of me. I mean, I can't top Alex. He's literally got light color changing. There's no way.
At one point, we even sold light bulbs. Orlando City, when we made our first playoff match, was selling light bulbs and handing them out to fans.
I'm sorry to do this to you, Alex, but just so that everybody's aware, their first playoff match happened like 6 years into their existence. So I felt like I just needed to put that out there.
It was an actual playoff spot, not a play-in spot like your first appearance. So
bang, bang, bang.
Okay. It took us 3 years to get to our first legitimate one. That's all I'm saying. All right, Chris, go ahead. Prediction, sir.
I think this is gonna be a score where we walk out 4-1. I think it's gonna be
a lot of people
4-1.
are predicting 4-1. As you can see, nobody predicts clean sheets anymore. Everybody knows we're gonna get.
I mean,
and Alex, just so you know, you're probably gonna get the first one. So we've played now 13 games. In 10 of those 13 games, we've given up the first goal. Now we've only lost 2 of those, as you can see, but in 10 out of our 13 games, we've given up the first goal.
So all I'm hearing is I should feel a little bit more comfort when you guys score first during this match on Wednesday.
No, if we score first, you're going to get your ass kicked. Because when we've scored first, we've actually kept a clean sheet. We scored first against you guys, won 5-0, and we scored first against Real Salt Lake, and we won 2-0. And off the top of my head, I can't remember what the third game was. But 2 out of the 3 games when we scored first, we've basically held the other team to 0 goals. So definitely you want to take advantage and score first. Will it make a difference on will you win? Probably not. But you definitely want to take advantage and get that goal on. So Chris said 4-1. A lot of people in the chat are saying 4-1, 4-2. I'm kind of thinking closer to what Alex said. He said 3-2. I'm going to say 3-1. I think that you guys probably score first just because it's hard to imagine Miami not giving up the first goal. But I think that your defense has been poor enough. And then when you said Jensen's not playing, your defense has been poor enough where I think that we can go ahead and come back from 1-0 and put up 3 and win 3-1. I mean, Messi and Suarez, they all know that this is a Clásico for us, right? This is the in-state rival. So they take it a little more personal because they know that's what it needs to be. And also, you guys seem to get under Messi's skin quite easily. It seems like he gets really chippy. It's like spicy Messi comes out whenever he plays against Orlando, and we love spicy Messi over here. So I think 3-1 would be the final score.
Yeah, we have been known to have a couple of spicy players, and one of them is definitely going to be on the pitch in Rodrigo Schlegel. If he makes it through the match, I'll be shocked. He's coming back off of a red card suspension, but if he makes a name for
game, right?
Yes, and I don't know. It's him and Cesar Araujo that I am most thinking are gonna. And Cesar did that. I think it was during the Open Cup match. He really egged Messi on and
the Leagues Cup
brought out angry Messi, and that was to our detriment in that result. But I did see a comment. Vice City Lucas is asking about banners for Wednesday.
I was going to ask that. I was holding that comment off but I'll bring it up right here. He's asking, don't know if Alex knows any details, but does he know information why Orlando FO front office won't let Inter bring any banners, flags, or drums?
That's been a policy since the beginning. They don't let any visiting supporters bring in any banners. Flags is a little new to me. They used to allow flags a couple years ago, but I think there was an incident that might have involved Miami harassing our mascot, and drums they've never allowed for opposing fans. So just to top back off on the spiciness and overall strategy and how this is going to go, I think it's going to be much closer than a lot of people are thinking, partially because both teams are coming off of Saturday matches. But I think that at the end, us being spicy is going to come back to haunt us like it did in the Leagues Cup. I think that it'll just egg on Messi and he'll end up performing. I don't think he's going to. Do you guys think he's going to go a full 90 for you guys? Because you guys have a match on the weekend.
He always goes a full 90. So I wouldn't expect anything differently. If he doesn't go a full 90, it's because he came off the bench. But if he starts, he finishes, which is what I love about him. He loves to play, and yes, if he starts, he'll be there until the very end. A quick question. Now that I have Alex here, and I haven't asked Chris, we talked about it a little bit. But Alex, what do you think about that 2-minute rule where a player go ahead, falls on the ground? If they're on the ground for like longer than like 15 seconds, or if the medical staff has to come out, they have to be out off the pitch for 2 minutes. Before you answer, we talked about it last episode. A lot of people in the chat aren't a fan of it. In our Discord, a lot of people were talking about it, how it isn't a good rule. I personally love it. Alex, I was kind of curious, what do you think of it?
I will say this. I'm happy it doesn't apply to the goalkeeper because Pedro Gillespie is a master of the dark arts. He loves slowing play down, and it's helped us a lot, and it doesn't apply to him. So this rule benefits him. It doesn't benefit any of our other players that do it, which I honest to God can't think of anybody that is like really bad at it. So I like it because it eliminates this, they're on the ground for too long, they're trying to waste time thing, but only because it doesn't apply to our goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Look, I understand that it isn't the smoothest of rules because there will be players that are really injured. But I honestly believe that there are more players that do that are not injured that are injured. So unfortunately, you have to go a little drastic with the rule change in hopes of eventually changing that. So I like it because I hate that players go ahead and roll around on the ground for not being. I'd rather they go and use VAR and suspend them for the next game if they went ahead and they flopped or dove and then acted like they were injured. I'd rather they do that. But I wish that they would eliminate that because it's for a bunch of little sissies that they go ahead diving all over the place.
And it came from MLS Next Pro. Another big thing that they've been kind of doing is last year was the concussion thing. And we saw that's a better rule because we saw that with who was it? Dagger Dan Thorhalson got hit in the head with the ball on a free kick, and he tried to play and he went down, and that gave us an extra sub. Didn't matter, we lost to Cincy, but that's a better rule for actually enforcing is this player actually hurt thing, because that's independently determined. It's like the concussion protocol in the NFL. It's independently determined by a third-party doctor.
Yeah. And then just to adjust, and I know that gamer class was probably joking when he said 10-0. But just for everybody that again, we talked about this before last game. You're not going to win every game 6-2. Like look what happened with Montreal, 3-2 and barely. So just don't underestimate the opponents, because I think that this game on Wednesday might be closer than you think.
Apparently, to all the YouTube commenters on our last video, I have no idea what soccer is and how it's played.
That's right.
Because I expect a 5-goal plus game.
Uh-huh. All right. Alex, go ahead. You said that you have something going on?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So at the start of next month, June 1st, for our away match against New York Red Bulls, Orlando Lions Den is hosting a watch party at the Hourglass Brewing location in Orlando, Florida, for our release of our new beer. We collaborated with these guys with a awesome beer that we have just recently released the name of. It is called No Mango, No Party, and it's going to be an awesome watch party. I don't know if any of your fans are going to want to come out, but I know there's at least a couple of Orlando City fans listening. So come on out. The whole pod crew is going to be there. I'm making the trip. I'm making a whole vacation out of it, and we're going to give away prizes, card packs. I think we're going to raffle off a jersey signed by a couple players. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, like I said, Hourglass.
I definitely wouldn't go for the jerseys or anything, but is that something that they're going to keep selling after the event?
Yeah, I believe we will be selling it online for a limited amount of time after the event. Yeah.
Oh, online. Okay, so let's say I'm going to be in Orlando in a couple
in
weeks.
person. I think they'll sell it too. I don't know how long they'll have it around, but if you need it, if you want it for as quick as you can, it will be online on Hourglass's website.
Well, as much as I hate Orlando City, I want to support the Lions then, and you guys have been gracious enough to always come with the preview. So if I make it out there and you guys are still selling, I'll go buy one.
You can put it on your shelf and just turn it upside down.
Yes,
sure,
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And look, at the end of the day, us as people that are in, here covering the team and talking about the teams, like, we want the MLS to grow. And I think it's fair to be able to kind of see and help a lot of other people, even if they're not, part of your collective following or team. Guys, let's help each other grow. Let's make this league better and let's be better. So.
And Kako was asking how much for a Messi shirt. Batterfans.com. All the shirts are $25.
Now, I want to mention one more thing, which is completely off topic. I don't know if it's time for the questions or anything like that, Dan.
It is. It's gas bagging time.
Well, we've already gone, I think, through every question with Alex. The last one was the shopping. No.
Mm-mm.
Did we do?
Not the late 90s. Not the late 90s.
Oh, okay. All right. So then let's do this here. I mean, I don't know if you're ready for this kind of heat, Alex, but
bring it on.
We're talking about 90s to early 2000s music, and you have to pick one of the two bands here. Which way are you going with these guys?
Oh, you got to go Backstreet.
Oh,
there we go.
Got to go Backstreet. I saw them in concert in Vegas. Yeah. Parents ended up taking away our CDs about it eventually, but that's a story for another time.
Well,
Backstreet Boys, I'm telling you.
completely awful.
There
Then
is nobody that's gone in sync.
And then my mom went crazy after taking the CDs away and went crazy at the concert with us. It was funny.
And then the last guest that we had, toilet paper, over or under?
Over.
Okay.
Always.
All right. So you're not
Over.
you're not a serial killer. So that's
As
good.
long as I'm happy a lot of the times when it's on the roll. I used to work in an office where people would just place it on the roll.
Yeah, that's so stupid. Now, I wanted to mention a comment here by Tank, aka Gillespie Lover, aka Peru for Life. Inter Miami is Mike Tyson. Orlando City is Jake Paul. I
Ooh.
just saw the stand-in with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Like, Jake Paul's dead, right? He's gonna die in that match. He's gonna die in that ring.
Like, it's gonna count.
Yeah,
Mike
it's a
Tyson.
He
legitimate
bulked up a
fight, right?
lot. He looked he used to be a scrawny little guy. He's
Listen,
bulked up.
I don't
He's
care.
still gonna die.
He's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead. He's cooked. There's no way.
Mike
I
Tyson
want to make
hasn't
this
fought in
into a
over
box.
20 years.
Danny, you know what? No, we're done. You and I, we're done. We're done. If you're
I
gonna
didn't say
sit
Mike
here and say he
Tyson's
hasn't
gonna
fought in 20
lose.
years and he's gonna lose, that's what you just said. That's what you
Did
just
I
said.
say
Chat,
he's
did
gonna
he not
lose?
just say that? Did he not just say that? That's it. Show's
He'll
over.
just fight one
You're
of
done.
Jake Paul's earrings off.
You know what, Danny?
bite him.
Danny, you're done. You're done. Alejandro, yes, this is for you, Danny. You're fucking done. You just said that Jake Paul's gonna win.
Is that what I said?
That's exactly what you said.
I think there needs to be money on this between the two of you.
How much you want to bet that it goes to decision?
No.
It will.
It's
100%
rigged. It's rigged if it goes to decision.
It's boxing. Of course it's rigged.
In boxing, it's
All right.
not always rigged.
I'm sure we'll yes, it is. I'm sure we'll get more into this in the coming weeks as the fight approaches. All right. Alex, as always, you and Lions Den, we appreciate you joining us for these episodes. If they haven't already, give away money. Go let everybody know where they can follow you, Lions Den, and all that good stuff. If they want to hear a little bit more about Orlando City.
Absolutely.
I'm sure. Look, just real quick, you know what I enjoy doing? For those of you in the chat, after we kick a team's ass, I love listening to podcasts from the opposing team, like the next one, just to hear what they say about the game. So after we beat them on Wednesday, make sure you tune into the Lions Den, the post game or the day after, whenever they go, so you can hear what they have to say about the game. Go ahead, Alex.
It's funny you bring that up because on Twitter, we are at Orlando Lions Den, and about 20 to 30 minutes after each match, we host a podcast spaces where we have group therapy. So if it's a good match, we're happy. If it's a bad match, it's a lot longer of a podcast, and we bitch, moan, whine, and complain about it. And there's people all over the country that come in and talk about it. So, hey,
do you have to catch it live, or do you guys actually put it out on audio platform?
We do it both. We do it live, and you can listen to the recording on Twitter. We haven't quite gotten around to putting it in our feed, but it's something that we're looking at.
Okay.
If we win, we'll definitely put it in our feed. If we lose, you can catch it on Twitter.
Understood.
So you can catch us there. We're on Instagram. Like I said, Hourglass Brewing. But yeah, we get on there and we talk about it, and we just have normal fans that pipe in and ask to talk about what's going on and what happened. Den After Dark, Orlando Lions Den After Dark.
That sounds good. I mean, I want them to join us post game, but go ahead and listen to the recorded version right after. Go ahead. Chris, any final words?
You're a piece of crap.
I appreciate that, Chris. For those of you in the chat, if you want to hang out with us at 10 o'clock, we're going to be going Battle Herons en Español with Solana and Xavier Laos. So go ahead and join us for that at 10 o'clock. We'll be going again in Spanish, recapping the win against, who did we just beat? I just blanked out. Forgot who we just beat.
Not Mike Tyson.
Montreal. The win against Montreal, and then we'll be previewing the Orlando game. So join us at 10 o'clock for that. And That's it. So if you are listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us 5-star comment, review, all that other good stuff. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. And for those of you in the chat, as always, you guys are the best part of the show. We appreciate you kicking with us for the last 55 minutes. And yes, Alejandro, thank you to Alex for joining us. And we'll be back at 10 o'clock talking Batterhands en Español, and we will be back in English post-game after we beat Orlando at about 9:30-ish. So join us live for that also. So as always, until the next one, have a good one.
You're blocked, Danny.